In a big African city lived a rich and powerful man named Daniel Okoro. He owned many companies and lived in a large mansion. But even with all his money, he felt lonely. One day, while visiting a small restaurant in the city, he met a simple village girl named Amara. She worked there as a waitress, serving tea and food to customers with a warm smile. Daniel was impressed by her kindness and honesty. Unlike the women he knew from his rich world, Amara was humble and true. He started visiting the restaurant every day just to see her. Slowly, he began talking to her, bringing her gifts and showing her care. Amara was shy at first, but his sweet words made her heart trust him. After some time, Daniel told Amara that he loved her. He said, "You're different. I want to marry you soon." Amara was overjoyed. She believed his promise and started dreaming of a happy future. She told her mother that a good man wanted to marry her, and her mother thanked God for this blessing. Their secret meetings continued for months. Daniel told her not to tell anyone about their relationship because he wanted to announce it at the right time. Amara agreed, trusting every word he said. One night, Daniel took Amara to a fancy hotel and said he loved her more than anything. But after that, things began to change. Daniel became busy and stopped visiting often. Amara felt something was wrong but stayed hopeful. A few weeks later, she found out she was pregnant. Instead of joy, fear filled her heart. When she told Daniel, his face turned serious and cold. He said, "This is not the right time." That was the last time she saw him. After billionaire Daniel Okoro met Amara in the small city restaurant, his life began to feel different. Amara's gentle voice and honest heart made him forget his stressful business world. He visited her every day and slowly became close to her. Amara, who had never been loved before, trusted Daniel completely. She felt special when he told her she was beautiful and smart. One evening, Daniel took her to a peaceful park. The moon was bright, and he said softly, "Amara, I love you. I want to marry you soon." Those words changed her life. She believed every promise. She told her mother that Daniel was her future husband. Her mother warned her to be careful, but Amara's heart was full of hope. Daniel began giving her small gifts, clothes, perfume, and even money for her family. Everyone in the restaurant noticed how happy she had become. Amara started to dream of a better life, living in Daniel's big mansion, wearing nice dresses, and never being poor again. Their relationship became stronger, but Daniel kept it secret. He told her not to tell anyone until the right time. Amara agreed because she believed his love was true. Months passed. Daniel's love started to fade. He became busy and stopped visiting her as often. Whenever Amara asked about their marriage, he said, "Soon, my love. Just a little more time." But his eyes no longer showed the same warmth. Amara didn't notice that Daniel's family and business partners were already arranging his marriage with a rich woman named Vanessa. One morning, Daniel stopped coming completely. Amara waited every day at the restaurant, her heart filled with fear and confusion. She did not know her whole world was about to break apart. The man she loved was about to betray her. After months of meeting secretly, Daniel Okoro and Amara grew very close. Their love seemed strong, but it was hidden from the world. Daniel told Amara that he didn't want people to know yet because he was a famous man, and the media might misunderstand their relationship. Amara believed him. She thought he was protecting her. Every weekend, Daniel would send his driver to pick Amara up. He took her to expensive restaurants, long drives, and hotels far from the city. He told her again and again, "Once my business deal is finished, we will get married." Amara trusted every word because Daniel treated her gently and spoke with care. She began to live in two worlds, her poor, simple life at home and her secret, exciting world with Daniel. She stopped working at the restaurant and waited for the day he would fulfill his promise. But deep inside, Daniel was confused. His business partners and family told him not to marry a poor girl. They warned him that his reputation could be ruined. His mother even told him, "Rich men marry rich women, not servants." These words started to poison Daniel's heart. He began to feel ashamed of Amara. Still, Amara had no idea what was happening. She continued to love him deeply. One day, she surprised Daniel by cooking his favorite traditional meal. As they ate, she smiled and said, "I can't wait to meet your family." Daniel looked away and stayed silent. That night, Amara felt a strange fear in her heart. Daniel's voice was no longer soft. He said he needed some space for his business matters. From that moment, things started to change. Calls became fewer, visits became shorter, and love began to disappear, but Amara still believed his promises were real. Weeks passed, and Amara began to feel strange in her body. She felt weak in the mornings and often became sick. One day, she visited a small clinic near her home. The nurse smiled and said, "Congratulations, you are pregnant." At first, Amara was shocked, then her eyes filled with happy tears. She thought this would finally make Daniel Okoro marry her. That evening, she waited for Daniel at their usual meeting place. When he arrived, she ran to him with joy and said, "Daniel, we're going to have a baby." But his face changed immediately. The smile disappeared, and his eyes turned cold. He looked away and said quietly, "This is not the right time, Amara. You should have told me before." Amara was confused. She thought he would be happy. She tried to hold his hand, but he stepped back and said he had to leave. After that day, everything changed. Daniel stopped calling, and his driver no longer came to pick her up. Days turned into weeks, and Amara became worried. She went to his office, but the guards didn't let her in. She tried calling, but his phone was always off. One morning, she saw a newspaper headline, "Billionaire Daniel Okoro marries business tycoon's daughter Vanessa." Her heart broke instantly. She dropped the paper and cried in the street. Amara felt betrayed and lost. She realized she had been used and abandoned. The man who promised to make her his wife had chosen money and fame over love. She returned home in tears. Her mother held her tightly, trying to comfort her. The small house that once felt warm now felt heavy with silence and shame. Still, Amara decided to be strong for the baby growing inside her. After Daniel Okoro's betrayal, Amara's world fell apart. She could not eat or sleep for many days. The man she loved and trusted had left her with nothing but pain. Her mother tried to comfort her, saying, "My child, tears will not change anything. You must live for your baby." Amara nodded silently, her heart heavy with sadness. As the months passed, Amara's pregnancy became visible. People in her village began to gossip. Some called her foolish, others laughed behind her back. She could hear them whisper, she thought a rich man would marry her? Poor girl. Each word cut her heart like a knife. Still, Amara refused to give up. Her mother stood beside her through every hardship. Together, they faced hunger, shame, and judgment from neighbors. But Amara worked hard, selling vegetables in the market to earn a little money. Though life was difficult, she never lost her dignity. Finally, the day came when Amara gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Toby, meaning God is good. When she held him for the first time, tears of love filled her eyes. "You are my reason to live," she whispered to her son. Raising Toby alone was not easy. Amara faced many sleepless nights and lonely days. Sometimes she wondered if Daniel even remembered her or knew that his son was alive. But she promised herself she would never beg for his help. She wanted Toby to grow up with pride, not pity. As Toby grew, he became a bright, kind child who loved his mother deeply. Amara taught him to be honest, humble, and strong, values she had learned through her pain. Though the world once looked down on her, Amara stood tall. She had lost everything except her courage. Years passed, and Amara's baby boy, Toby, grew up into a bright and kind young man. Though they were poor, Amara worked hard to give him a good education. She sold vegetables during the day and sewed clothes at night just to pay his school fees. Toby always saw her struggle and promised, "Mama, one day, I'll make you proud." Toby studied with great determination. He was intelligent and respectful, and everyone in the village liked him. When he won a scholarship to study engineering in the city, Amara cried tears of joy. Her dream was coming true. Her son would have the life she never had. In the city, Toby worked hard and became a successful engineer. He started helping poor children get education, just like his mother had helped him. His name began appearing in newspapers as a young man with a kind heart. But neither he nor Amara knew that Daniel Okoro, the billionaire who abandoned them, was seeing those same news articles. Daniel's life, on the other hand, was falling apart. His wife Vanessa had left him after years of unhappy marriage. His business deals began to fail, and his health was getting worse. He spent many lonely nights thinking about Amara and the child he had left behind. One evening, Daniel turned on the TV and saw a news report about a young engineer named Toby Amara, who was building free schools for poor children. He froze. The boy's face looked familiar, those eyes, that smile, they were his own. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he realized the truth. This was his son. That night, Daniel whispered to himself, "The boy I left behind has become the man I should have been." When Daniel Okoro discovered that the successful young engineer Toby Amara was his own son, his heart filled with guilt and pain. For the first time in years, he felt truly empty. His mansion, cars, and money no longer brought him joy. He couldn't sleep, and his health grew worse every day. He decided he had to see Amara and their son even if it was too late. Daniel asked one of his old friends to help him find them. After many days, he finally reached Amara's small village. When Amara saw him standing at her door, weak and pale, she was shocked. Memories of her heartbreak returned, but her kind heart didn't let her turn him away. She let him sit down and gave him water. With tears in his eyes, Daniel said, "Amara, I came to say I'm sorry. I ruined your life. I left you when you needed me the most." Amara's eyes filled with tears, but she spoke softly, "Daniel, I suffered, but I learned to forgive. My pain made me strong, and our son became my blessing." At that moment, Toby entered the room. Daniel looked at him, tall, confident, and full of kindness. He tried to speak, but his voice broke. "My son," he whispered, "I don't deserve your forgiveness." Toby knelt beside him and said, "You hurt my mother, but she taught me to forgive, not to hate." Daniel cried silently, realizing he had lost the only real family that ever loved him. A few weeks later, he passed away peacefully, holding a photo of Amara and Toby. Amara and Toby stood together at his grave. Amara whispered, "He learned too late that love is greater than wealth." Toby held her hand and promised to keep helping others. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. This was the tale of Daniel, the billionaire who had everything except a faithful heart, and Amara, the woman whose pain turned into strength. Life teaches us that money can build mansions, but only love and honesty can build peace. If you liked this story and learned something from it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional and meaningful stories like this. Your support means everything. See you again in the next story. Stay kind, stay humble, and always value true love.